Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, what's this bourbon you mentioned?
It's this one right here. It's BAM, Four Roses Single Barrel, OESF. So I am thrilled to have this bottle.
Okay.
Because this is the first Four Roses Single Barrel store pick with the cool little recipe on the side that I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are not terribly common in Minnesota. I think they're making a comeback.
I've never seen one other than, I went to a tasting where they had a couple of, it was this Four Roses flight, and so I tried two of them. But otherwise, I've never actually seen one on the store shelves ever.
It's a rare find, so I was happy to get this. Got this at Liquor Boy in St. Louis Park.
Yeah, it's got their logo
107.2 proof, is that what we came to with the math here?
And that was also the price, right? Maybe that's how it should work.
It was about that. It was $99.99, and with the taxes, it probably came to be about that much. So I don't know a ton, honestly, about all the different recipes. I know the OESFs and the OESK and the OB1 Kenobis and whatever. They all have different meanings as to what.
So we know that they have different yeast strains. And different mash bills, and then they'll do blending of them for barrels. And so this particular barrel is OESF. I think there's like 10 different ways in which they can
different possibilities. So this one, and I know some of them are more sought after than others, and to be honest, I've never really gone down the rabbit hole with which ones are super rare because
we just don't see them. So
and so I'm going to buy whichever one shows up anyway. So
and we like the regular Four Roses. I think that Small Batch Select is one of my favorite now available Minnesota, easy to find.
Oh, absolutely.
At $60, it's awesome.
So right on the nose, this is just wonderful. It's got a nice
floral.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got a nice floral note, a little bit coming from that rye, I think, the high rye mash bill.
Like, it smells like, well, actually that word has changed in modern era. You have to be careful.
What were you going to say? Can't wait for this.
Well, like a field, like a rain on a field, and then the maybe like wet grass, kind of, like that could be musty, and that's not what I meant.
Oh, was musty the word you were trying to avoid?
I was going to say it smells like grass, but...
Oh, yeah, not that kind. But it's got... I'm with you a little bit now that you say it, the fresh rain. You've brought that note up before, and every time you say it, I can start to smell it in the glass.
I don't know if it has a better name than that, but...
But that is a noticeable smell.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit floral, but it does have a nice kind of butter and brown sugar baking spice sweetness to it. As well. Well, I'm excited. Let's get into it here. Right, cheers. Oh yeah, that's great.
So it's better than great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There was a note I got on the nose that I'm now getting on the flavor as well, and it tastes and smells like raisin.
Really?
And I don't love raisins, but I like them. Like, I don't hate them. And I absolutely love grapes and wine and so on.
I'm not getting that quite as much.
Yeah, but like if in a blind flight, I could probably miscategorize this as a finished bourbon. It has kind of that heavy note of a lot of finished bourbons where you get a little sweetness that usually is from the grapes. Like, I'm almost getting that off this. And I know it's not there, but it's just because it's so much of an interesting density and experience type whiskey.
I'm getting a little bit of a bubblegum note.
Really?
In a little grapey bubblegum. This just has so much going for it. There's so many different things. I think this is going to be one of those ones where, if you give yourself, a good, 2-ounce pour maybe and just sit with it for a while, it's going to be a roller coaster of flavors. You're going to get something different on every single sip.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, and it might be the case with the bottle as well. I could see this being one where every time you pick this up, it might be a slightly, kind of the same ballpark, of course, but you might find something slightly new with it every time. And I think the proof on this is perfect.
Yeah, because it's not a sledgehammer.
Exactly.
But then it definitely comes across as high-ish proof. So it's funny. I picked up just a regular single barrel of Four Roses recently, and I bought it because if you just want to grab the bottle, we don't have to open it. But where the warehouse, if you look at the warehouse it is, I had to grab it because of that.
Oh, GW, yeah, there you go.
So I picked it up. It's got my initials on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that one's going to be different, but it's a similar proof, and I have high expectations for that one now. Because it's been a while since I've visited Four Roses.
The Four Roses single barrel that's one of those ones that's available everywhere. Well, even like you said, the small batch select is. But for a little bit cheaper, closer to that $40 range,
right?
Four Roses single barrel is fantastic. It's interesting because Four Roses in the beginning of my bourbon sort of career here was kind of a brand I stayed away from a little bit because I was off-put a little bit by the high rye. And it's not even that I was off-put by the flavor of it. Back when I first got started, I didn't particularly like rye whiskey that I had tried. I do now. And so I tended to kind of shy away from the higher rye brands. And Four Roses is known for being a high rye brand.
Some of their mash bills are definitely high rye.
But I think I was kind of not misinformed, but maybe misinforming myself on really what that meant, because I assumed that just high rye meant it was going to be spicy and have just that rye thing and none of the sweetness.
Right.
And of course I've learned that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because this has plenty of sweetness, but it's balanced out with that nice spice.
Yeah, I would agree that early on in my bourbon journey, I leaned toward wheaters for that same reason. Because I hate rye bread, and I assume that there's some similarity, and I don't understand if it's the same rye or what's different about it. But rye whiskey is nothing like rye bread. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so these, I'm going to buy this every time. This is an automatic buy every time I see any of the recipes, any one of these, for that $100 price point.
Sure.
I think this is outstanding. So I doubt they're probably still there, but at the time of releasing this, it's November 12th. I got this last week, so they're probably sold out. But Liquor Boy in St. Louis Park, that's where I got this. So go in, check it out. It's a great store, if nothing else. Even if they don't have this.
Yeah, they have a good selection.
So I've had a few other store picks of Four Roses over at Sean's house.
Okay.
Because he's been lucky enough to get a few.
Sure.
And every one of them has been amazing. And some of them even range up into the 130 proof.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of interesting. I was surprised that the proof on this one was where it was, because I've just kind of seen them all over the board. So, well, this is a total recommend. Again, unfortunately, you probably can't get this exact one, but Four Roses store picks,
they're awesome.
Buy it every time.
Yeah.
All right, well, this has been Four Roses Single Barrel OESF from Liquor Boy in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. On the Bourbon Note, I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.